Once upon a time, there was a potter who used to make pots every evening and then used to sell the pots that were ready in the market the next morning. He used to sell these pots for $50 every day. That was his fixed rate for the pots. Many days, weeks, months and years passed in his life while he followed the same routine of making pots in the evening and then selling the same the next day. Now, after many years of same routine, he had grown old, and because of the age, his hands started to shiver whenever he tried to carve the pot. Now, of course, that made it difficult for him to make pots, and every passing day made his job more and more difficult. Hence, the old man decides to call his young son and tell him that he is unfortunately not able to make the pots anymore, because every time he tries to shape the pots, his hands start to shiver. He further says to his son that he wants him to take over his legacy and start making pots. To this, son says, "Dad, I do not know how to make a pot." To which his father politely replies, "Do not worry, son, I will teach you how to make a pot." Now, when this youngster starts to make a pot for the first time, he finds it very difficult. However, he had his dad supporting him who had prolific experience in making pots. His dad starts guiding him and asks him to shape the pot in a certain way and also guides him on decorating the pots. This enables the youngster to complete the first ever pot of his life with the help and support of his father. Now, as per the ritual, the young boy goes to the market the next day to sell the pot. Fortunately, and with a lot of struggle, he was able to sell his pot, but only for $10. When he comes back home, his father was very happy to see that his son was able to sell his first ever pot. However, the young boy was feeling very sad. The father asked the son, "You do not seem to be happy, although you were able to successfully sell your first pot." To this, son says, "Dad, I am not happy because my pot was sold only for $10 and you have always sold yours for $50. Father smiles and says, "Do not worry, son. I will teach you to make a pot which you can sell for even more." He then again starts guiding him for the next pot. After putting a lot of efforts the entire evening, the young boy was able to make his next pot. He then goes to the market the next morning and tries to sell his new pot. And guess what? He was able to sell his new pot, but this time for $20. He then comes back to his father and tells him that he was able to sell his new pot, but he is still not happy, as he was able to sell the pot only for $20, which was still not equal to what his father used to sell his pot for. Father again smiles and says, "Son, do not worry. I will teach you how to make a pot which you should be able to sell for even more." The father again starts guiding his son for the new pot. And again, after lots of efforts, the boy was able to complete his next pot. The boy then goes to the market the next day, and this time he was able to sell the pot for $40. He comes back home again upset, telling his father that he was still not able to sell the pot for $50. Father yet again consoles him and tells him that "I will guide you again to make a pot which you should be able to sell for even more." Once again, with a lot of efforts, the boy completes the pot and then goes back to the market to sell the pot. Guess what? This time he was able to sell the pot for whopping $75. He comes back home with super excitement on his face and tells his father that today he was able to sell the pot for $75. The father, of course, was super happy seeing his son happy. He then tells his son, "Today I will guide and teach you to make a pot which you will be able to sell for even more." Listening to this, the boy laughs and tells his father, "Are you kidding? I was able to sell my pot for $75, which is way more than what you were ever able to sell your pot for, and hence I do not need to learn any further from you." Listening to this, his father smiles and tells him, "Son, you will never be able to sell your pot for more than $75 in your life, because when I was learning, to make a pot from my father, there came a day where I was able to sell my pot for $50, which was more than what he used to sell his for, which was $30. That was the day when I told my father, I do not need to learn from you any further. And that was when I stopped learning. And as a result, I was never able to sell my pot for more than $50 in my life. Ladies and gentlemen, no matter how knowledgeable you think you are, never ever stop learning in your life, as the day you stop learning, that would be the day you will stop growing in your life. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel to keep learning and keep growing along with us. Hope to see you again in the next video. Until then, adios fellow humans.